Brilliant. Thanks, David. Evie's done brilliant tonight. To be honest, I've been mentoring her a bit the last couple of weeks, and she asked me specifically to come along tonight, and I wasn't initially going to read, but yeah, I promised her I would, and there's quite a few people here I don't know, so it's always good to read a new crowd. I'm from the Manchester area in the UK. I've done a few poetry books over the years. I'm going to do one brand new poem, and I mean this is brand new, and one that's of my last poetry book. The new one is about where I live, Manchester. So this is called Manchester Made Me. This city is alive in the most unexpected places, from stepping off at Piccadilly train station and the rain rustling over your hair, forcing you to look at the constant protests about the tragedies in Israel and Palestine, and never forget about the butchering at Peterloo. Never forget the Whalley Range pub when 18, getting flattened during the Manchester United and Manchester City fight, and then the IRA bomb in 1996, followed by the riots in 2011, ripping out the heart of the city into something you barely recognise now. Manchester Arndale, haunted by staff dying on service in the shops. A hurricane shaking the office when I worked at a cooperative, with billboards blown into people's cars and dragging a dead body back from underneath the car park. This city breathes in a square root of loneliness, glancing backwards to forge ahead, a world within a world of its history, future, from Piccadilly to Victoria and then Deansgate, of the past, etched in myth, mystery and the truth, its heart found in its most tragic stories. Okay, I've depressed you completely. I'm going to depress you more now. Now, that book, that poem is going to be is called Ghosts, and it's a long way been completed. But that'll be touching on ghost stories that I know, ghosts that haunt me, ghosts haunting other people, and our relationship with buildings and how they haunt us and how we haunt them. The book I've done before that, which came out last year, is called Changing Carriages at Birmingham New Street, and that deals with an affair, a fictional affair, I need to state as well, between a couple that were met up as children, then reconnected as adults and went into an affair after both been in unhappy marriages. The poem I'm going to read from that is second to last poem in the actual book itself, and this one's called 3 Visits to Paris Within 10 Years. The first time, do you remember, Sarah? It rained all weekend, all the way from the airport in Paris, right up to Saint Laurent on our honeymoon. And we spent most of the afternoon, well, into the evening, in the Latin Quarter, listening to a jazz band which you couldn't stand. 5 years later, and 3 after contracting diabetes, do you remember, Sarah, having to almost mesmerise me in guilt to get me on that plane, exhausted after the collapse of another adaptation of my book, and nearly losing Michelle during the birth of her first child 3 weeks earlier. 5 years after, 2 after you had died, the guilt follows me out of the airport on a cheap stopover to Milan, at the edge of the Seine, blank interiors, days gone past, as much as words that could still be said. 5 years after, 2 after you had gone, of untold stories stood there and peripheral sadness with the rain, lost in the brilliance of memories, an effigy in emotion disappeared into the past, echoing the silence of your goodbye to my mouth. That's me done, folks. It's been a great night. I've really enjoyed tonight. Thank you. See you later.
Thank you so much, Andy. I hope you come back, and I hope you will have time to give us a 20-minute feature if you like. It's amazing this show only attracts like feature-worthy, amazing poets. Manchester Made Me. I love that poem, and I'm mad about Manchester, especially musically. You know, from Joy Division and New Order to the Durruti column I listen to the most now. And Smiths and all of that. But I love what you're doing with describing the city and its uh, heart being ripped out of it and being unrecognizable and tragic to hear. I love your ghost poem and the mystery, and the truth. Oh, what a great list that is. Mystery, and the truth. That just about says it all. Three visits to Paris in 10 years. Yes, I hope I have many more than that and move back. But lovely, love, and a peripheral sadness with the rain. I love the moods and the streaks of music throughout all that you're reciting. It's great, potent stuff. Thank you.
Appreciate it, David. Thank you again, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, and so we have one of our mighty co-hosts, Rorschach, is on next, and then a bunch more. So please stay here and let's go to you, Rorschach. I'll get your recording going. I'll make sure I stop the last one. Oh my word. I'll have to edit that. But yeah, 1 second.